So it's Friday, July 23rd, and it has been a really busy day of packing, and the last night of VBS was tonight, and I didn't really get that much read. I did, however, read about 30 more pages in Changeless, the second in the Parasol Protectorate series. So I'm really loving this, and I'm going to go settle down and read a little bit more before I think of something else that I have to do instead of read, because I really want to read this. Okay, so I'm literally in the middle of supper right now. I'm eating some pasta while I'm reading Changeless, because who better to share pasta with than Alexia Terabody? Really. I hope I don't have anything in my teeth. I make homemade Italian dressing, and I covered my pasta in Italian dressing and lots of melted butter, and I am in fat chick heaven right now. But anyway, on to this book. The reason I am taking some time out from shoving pasta in my face is because I really wanted to share a couple of lines with you. I choked on a piece of pasta when I read this because it makes perfect sense and it's hilarious. And it's not the most hilarious line I've ever read in literature, but it's I'll just share it with you. It says, not precisely dress appropriate for paying a social visit, but he was confident his host would understand. This was business. Then again, one could never tell with vampires. They had, after all, dominated the fashion world for decades as a kind of indirect campaign against werewolves and the uncivilized state shifting shape required. Makes perfect sense, right? And I choked at the idea that Professor Lyle, who's already, just in a cloak, he's a flasher. He's worrying about the fact that he's going to see Lord Akildama, and like he may be offended somehow because vampires took over fashion just so they could get back at werewolves for not being able to dress appropriately most of the time. Just the thought of Akildama and Lyle together is funny anyway, and then add all that. And if you haven't read this series, I think you would probably enjoy it no matter who you are. Some people probably don't like it, but it's absolutely hilarious, and you should check it out. It is 3 o'clock, Saturday, the 23rd. I've read about another 20 pages. I'm on page 145 of Changeless. I was hoping to finish this yesterday and just started packing and kept packing and didn't get it done. But I've also read the first 23 pages of Game of Thrones. I am starting a Game of Thrones read-along vlog, so every week when I finish the 100 pages that we're reading for the week, I will kind of edit that vlog up so it's somewhat decent and then post that, and you guys will hopefully be doing something similar, and we can post a bunch of videos discussing how we feel about that section of the Game of Thrones, how it's building, etc., and so forth. So we have it on BookTube as well as on Goodreads. I'm really looking forward to seeing what everybody thinks, because even the first 23 pages, I was like, holy cow, what? I'm so happy you guys are reading this with me, because I don't know if I could handle it otherwise. Okay, so it is almost 10 o'clock on Sunday evening. I have read to page 231 in Changeless by Gail Carriger. I'm loving it. I'm going to be reading more. This head cold has got me where I can't really bend over and pack and do a whole bunch while, all at the same time. So while I'm trying to pack, I'm doing just a little bit and then reading a lot and then doing a little bit and then I'm going to read a lot, which is directly in opposition to what I have been doing, and hopefully that will help. I've also made it to page 39 of Game of Thrones. I just read the first Daenerys Targaryen passage, and I enjoyed it. It's very interesting. I love the different religions that get spoken about throughout the whole thing, and the different coups and wars that we're kind of starting to learn about. And some of the things that are going on is just weird, and everybody's really young. But, I'm enjoying it so far, so we'll see what happens. Okay, so it's Monday the 25th at like 3:30 in the afternoon. I have packed 3 boxes. I'm getting ready to pack the fourth. If everything's stacked up, waiting on me to start putting it in the box. Um, but first, I wanted to tell you that I took a little break and I finished Changeless. Bam! This was funny, well written, really funny, really well written. There's so many lines in here that are just like, they're great lines. I love Gail Carriger's writing style. And this was the second book in the series. Some things happened and a big twist happened at the end. And I was like, what? Why do you do this to me? So I can't wait to get the third book, but I do need to read some of the other things that I got partway into and then kind of threw over for Changeless. So I'm going to have to finish those this week before I go get the next book. But I will be getting the next book soon. So I have this book, The Classy Crooks Club, and I've been trying to read it, and I've been enjoying it enough. I mean, there are parts that are funny, and I think if I just sat down and read it, I could go through it really quickly, and I would probably give it 3 to 4 stars. It kind of feels like it's in that range, but I'm just not getting into it right now. I don't know what is going on. I think that I'm more in kind of a fantasy, I don't, I don't know, fantasy feeling kind of deal. Like maybe reading the first couple of Parasol Protectorate books and starting on Game of Thrones has got me in that mindset, and this is not going to cut it. So I think I'm going to take that back to the library with the rest of the books that I need to take back, and maybe pick up the third in the Parasol Protectorate. I think it's called Blameless. I'm really excited to know what happens with Alexia being how in the delicate condition she's in right now, and what Connell does, and all of that. I'm very excited to see that. Um, but I'm also really loving George R. R. Martin's Game of Thrones. I'm on page 77. The only thing I'm having issue with is Jon Snow's treatment. I mean, I understand it, but it's a consistent reminder in here, and that's bugging me a little bit. But I'm going to go read a little bit more, and I will talk to you guys later. Hey guys, it is now Thursday, about noonish, and I finished the 108 pages for the first week of Game of Thrones. And before I allow myself to continue on with that, or to go to the library and get Blameless, the next in the Parasol Protectorate series, I am making myself read The Young Bride. I was enjoying this when I put it down, but it's one of those where I enjoy it while I'm reading it, but it's a little bit of a difficult slog through. And then when I put it down, I don't really need to pick it back up and find out what happened next. So I'm still on page 61. I'm going to make myself read at least a good chunk of it before I let myself go to the library or pick back up Game of Thrones. So wish me luck and Godspeed. I'll talk to you later. I'm kind of running out of places to film right now. This is ridiculous. I've packed everything, and I don't move until Monday. It's Thursday. Yeah, but 97% of all of the stuff that's going has been packed. Please disregard the noise in the background. My child is watching a video. Anyway, I wanted to talk to you guys really quickly because earlier, as in like 30 seconds ago for you and about 8 hours ago for me, I told you that I was not going to allow myself to read anything else, go to the library, nothing, until I read The Young Bride, or at least got a good chunk of it read. What I meant by that was, I was on page 61 and maybe I could get to page 75 or 80 and I would consider that a good chunk and I could do something else. Yeah, I read the thing. I got her done. My cold got to the point this morning where, you can hear it in me. It was just not making life pleasant for me at all. It physically pains me to speak part of the time. If I'm forcing myself to speak, like, it feels like I'm trying to shove my tonsils out of my mouth. Excuse me. I have to kind of go slowly, but I wanted to tell you, A, I did it, yay, and B, read to you this line because it's hilarious. So, in The Young Bride, it is narrated by the young bride. It's a little confusing narration style. I'm going to do a review really soon, so you guys will hear more about it then. But the young bride is writing about when she was the young bride. Like, she's older now, but she's writing about the time when she was the young bride. So it's narrated by the young bride, but an older young bride. If that makes sense. Anyway, and it breaks a lot to where she is currently. You know, she's older and she's writing the book or whatever. And so this is the present day older young bride talking. And she says, "Why did you come to this solitude of mine?" I asked her, noting that her lips were the same as before, lips difficult to understand. "To read your book," she answered. But with that look, I know. Everyone has it. A little. Everyone around you. When you've been working on a book for months, maybe years, that no one has read yet. Deep down, they all think that you're not really writing. What they expect is to find a mountain of pages stuck in a drawer with "The morning has gold in its mouth" written on them thousands and thousands of times. You should see their surprise when they discover that you've written the book. Seriously, assholes. That line just really stuck with me as a writer. I have a lot of people that get to read my stuff, and I read lines to you guys. I do excerpts on my blog and all of that stuff, but there are still people who, even seeing the little things that I post, say, "Oh, well, that's probably all you've done for like 6 months. Oh, really? You've got what, like 25 words written? How long have you been working on this book?" So that line was just, yeah, it stuck with me. But that's all I've got for you guys for this reading vlog. This has been week 3 of my reading vlogs, and it's been kind of all over the place. So if you stuck with me through the entire vlog this week, God bless you. Oh my goodness. Anyway, I'm going to go reward myself and, I don't know, watch Netflix or something. I might write. Probably not. Anyway, I will see you guys again soon. If you want to leave me a comment telling me what you've been reading, or if you've read any of the books I talked about, anything I said in the vlog that you particularly agreed with, liked, disliked, whatever, leave that comment down below. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you're new. I'll see you soon. Bye.